Yeah, man. What's poppin'? What's poppin', man? How y'all doing? Check this out, man. We got a nice slate tonight. You dig what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about Devin Haney, Loma. We're gonna talk about Andy Ruiz. We're gonna talk about Tyson Fury. We're also gonna talk about Ryan Garcia. You dig? I just came off my man Coach K, aka Zone 6 channel. You dig what I'm saying? Now we gonna bring a different flavor over here. So what I'm about to do is, man, I'm gonna send out this link, and then we're gonna get to cooking, man. Y'all give me a couple seconds. Show. Yo. Check this out, man. We in the dough. We in the dough, man. Look, man, check this out, man. We got a full slate tonight. We're gonna talk about Andy Ruiz, Tyson Fury, Devin Haney, Lomachenko, Ryan Garcia. So y'all know what it's about to be, man. You dig what I'm saying? I went on ahead. I dropped the link in the chat. Anybody that wants to join, please hit that link and come holler at your boy. You dig what I'm saying? Y'all know what we doing over here, man. The Fix Sports TV. You dig? So look, man, check this out, man. We're gonna start out discussing Mr. Andy Ruiz and the $20 million that he asked for to step inside the ring with Tyson Fury. Okay? We're also going to discuss Andy Ruiz's antics outside of the ring that could potentially affect him inside of the ring. We're going to start out with that right there, man. But I don't know if y'all heard, but Andy Ruiz's phone got hacked. And a lot of allegedly got hacked. Okay? And he's come out and made a statement saying that he enjoys smoking marijuana. He consistently sips codeine, and he pays for prostitutes. Now, I understand that this really has nothing to do with inside of the ring, but the truth of the matter is we can go back in history and we see with a clear eye view of how antics outside of the ring will affect you inside of the ring. Now, in Andy Ruiz's case, we cannot say that at the moment, but this is the most glaring thing right here. He has pictures of him cleaning his blood before he is tested by vada. Now, to me, that is probably the most disturbing thing out of everything that I have seen with Andy Ruiz. Because when you run into a guy that is cleaning his blood, you never know what else could potentially be in the young man's body. You understand what I'm saying? So when I think about Andy Ruiz and the drugs and the prostitutes and everything, obviously that's bad and that can affect him inside of the ring. But when we start talking about you cleaning your blood before vada can test you, to me that is directly something that is inside of the ring. This is the whole purpose of vada, to make sure that it's the clean boxing program. You know, hey man, shout out to Hyplo, man. He said Andy Ruiz doesn't have anything in his blood but Crisco. Maybe, But once it get clean, it's clean. You know what I'm saying? He might have had Crisco before he got the blood clean. You know what I'm saying? You know what, man? Let me give a shout out to everybody in the chat that's coming over to support the fix tonight, man. Let me start off at the top. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we got the Traveler, salute. J. Cole, salute. Lisa, we go all the way back almost a decade, sweetheart. Salute to you. Big Blunts and Boxing, salute. My man Hyplo, always, man, you part of the family. Been a part of the family, man. Salute to you. You dig what I'm saying? Who else we got in here? And that's my man, Coach K Zone 6, just jumped in the building down there at the bottom with the thumbs up, man. Hey, make sure y'all hit that like button, man. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do subscribe to the channel because we're going to be dropping this heat constantly. You dig what I'm saying? But back to Andy Ruiz, the destroyer of himself. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, man, come on, man. This guy's tripping, man. But as far as the clean boxing program and Andy Ruiz cleaning out his blood, to me, that's probably the most disturbing thing that came out of that for me. What do you say, Zone 6? Did you hear about the Andy Ruiz potential or alleged phone hack and the pictures that surface up on the internet about him saying that he does drugs, he's getting his blood clean before vada comes? And this is all alleged, obviously. We don't know if this is 100% a fact, but Andy Ruiz did come out and make a statement about it. What you got for us?
Yeah, I looked at it and I heard some things about it, but I've really been, on this Devin Haney thing. So I'm going to turn my attention to that now as we speak. What information has everything that you just told me is what's on deck?
Yeah, so what's on deck is Andy Ruiz came out and said that he enjoys smoking marijuana, he sips codeine all the time, and he pays for prostitutes, and he has pictures, allegedly, this is all allegedly, that he is getting his blood clean before vada can test him after doing all of these silly antics.
Yeah, so let me say this. He going to sleep messing with Tyson Fury. I mean, I get it. You're going to have your balls screwed on tight. I'm trying to figure out now at this point, how did he beat AJ? Not to pick on AJ fans, but why did this guy ever beat AJ? And if he got all them issues and those problems, man, that man terrible. And Ruiz is tripping. He's tripping. And at this elite level, if he's doing all those tactics, he's going to find himself out of boxing real quick with some type of suspension, some type of penalty because of his just clear violations that he admitting to. Then he might find himself in some shit with that syrup or lean or whatever the fuck he drinking on. That can fuck up your kidneys, man. I know you boys in Texas know plenty about that, so you can speak to that. And just talk about the hands. We ain't got to just the hands. And his weight seemed to be under control, but he's had weight problems. Man, you can't be going in there with the Gypsy King with that kind of crazy shit on your mind and in your background and in your kidneys and body and big liver. Man, Tyson Fury gonna stop this boy if they fight. So
yeah, man. You know what? I'm gonna tell you something, man. I 100% agree. Obviously, I've been having Fury as the best heavyweight in boxing, for a very, very long time, probably a decade now. But yeah, man, I agree with you, man. If he gets inside this ring with Tyson Fury, with all these vices on him, he is going to get stopped, right? And this is the problem right here. Obviously, drug use can't be good for an active athlete. You dig what I'm saying? And when you go in there inside of the ring with another guy who's a extremely great athlete, and you're talking about a mano a mano type of sport, a man versus man sport, where you really can get hurt, I don't think it's a very good idea, man. And like you just said, it's not good for your kidneys. Obviously, being overweight, that's not good for your kidneys. It's just a recipe for disaster, man. And we've seen this before with several different boxers, man. They let the outside influences overtake their blessing. And, their blessing is having the ability to step into the ring and be amongst some of the best in the world. You dig? And I do think that Andy Ruiz is probably one of the best in the world as far as his ability to perform. But if he's doing all of this and he's performing the way he's performing now, just think what he could potentially be if he decided to take this stuff serious. That's been the biggest knock on Andy Ruiz since he's been a professional, that he does not take boxing serious. And now that all this stuff has come out, it's way worse than I ever thought it was. I just thought maybe he just was lazy and it was a weight problem. But now I realize that is much more than that. And this may be a blessing in disguise because this young man needs help, and he needs help immediately. What you say to that, my brother?
I agree with you. And maybe he might not be needing to look to boxing right now. He might need to take some time off. But see, here's the thing. We don't know what he's doing with his money. He talking about spending it on dope, and he talking about buying prostitutes. So he might be in a situation where he can't even pay or afford the help that he needs for his drug addiction. And it seems like some mental health issues and some social issues to even get that going. Because if he's going to get checked into rehab, that's one step that's going to cost him. Then he got to still pay his bills. The 1st and the 15th going to come whether you got them together or not. We all know that shit, right?
Yeah, that's true.
That's just real talk. People still got to go to school. If you got family and children and stuff, shit still got to move whether you in rehab or not. That's just on the dope side. Then we talking about some mental health issues and some counseling that he need, because you out here buying big prostitutes. I know people think that shit cute, but that's an issue as well too if you out here tricking. And I'm not talking about the classic kind where a nigga just a baller and niggas hating on him. This man talking about he out here buying them.
yeah, he buying the bottom of the barrel. You know what I mean? He not in no fancy joints like, come holler at me. Nah, that boy, he hitting. You know what he hit. He hit the boulevard.
Yeah, I know what he down there with he hit Mexico, the donkey show, and all that kind of stuff. Tijuana, that's where he at. But he got to stop that shit, man. That's not good. So you talking about a sexual type of situation that's going on with prostitution. That's an addiction. Then you talking about that lean, but that shit ain't nothing to fuck with. And then probably some mental health issues about his self-confidence and shit like that. He might need some help, man.
Yeah, man, absolutely, man. But look, check this out right here. My man, the Traveler, says that he thinks Andy Ruiz is broke. I don't know if he's broke, but this is what I will say. He asked for $20 million to get into the ring with Tyson Fury. Now, I don't know. This is allegedly. I don't know if this is 100% fact, but do you really think this motherfucker asked for $20 million to fight Tyson Fury?
That's reasonable. I can see that because here we go. We got to understand what's the element. Now take all that we just described out of the way, right? So let's look at who he's surrounded by. This is a PBC fighter. This is an Al Heyman fighter. And if this news about him being on dope and coke and hoes and all that shit, I'm sure Al Heyman is trying to do one or two things as a smart businessman. Cash this guy to fuck out before he crash out while his value is still high, and get this man to bang for his buck and allow this man to be put in position to probably pay for rehab. Not to suggest that there's not a best interest for his fighter, but Al Heyman probably like, look, dude, man, you need to get your shit together. We're going to get you this payday. Man, I don't know where it's going to happen because it's the big Gypsy King, but we're going to get you paid, bro, and you need to get your shit together. So, that might be an element there. You know what I'm saying? He got to hedge his bet on this bad investment or this potentially bad investment based on the alleged rumors that are out there.
Yeah, man. Let me tell you this right here. So I looked it up the other day. I think he got probably like maybe $4 or $5 million for the first AJ fight. And then I think he got like maybe between 9 and 12 for the second AJ fight. Right. So, and then he got $1 million for Areola, and then he got $1 million for Ortiz. So, this guy he's getting good paydays, but
that shit gone. But he spent it. He probably
Exactly.
he probably spending his shit before he even get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He see it. I might not got it now, but I'm about to get a check. He one of them kind of guys. Like he probably spent all his shit and ran up the payroll before the fight, and then he pay everybody back after he get what the fuck he want to get done and start buying them hoes out there in the street from Texaco.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. So my man Ryan Clark said it was $7 million for the first AJ fight, $9 million for the second AJ fight, and then he had the Luis Ortiz and he had the Areola fight, which he got $1 million both of those fights. So this guy's talking about close to 20 mil within the last couple of years. And man, I hope his habits is not so ridiculous that he is potentially broke after having $20 million, man, in that short a period of time. If it is, this is, I mean, like you said, this man may be about to crash out. My man Hyplo just came through, man, the OG. I want to say shout out to him, man. Salute to him. It's always a pleasure to have him come on my show and politic with me, man. What you got, Hyplo, man? You know what we're talking about? What you got on man. Andy Ruiz?
Thanks for having me on. Is my volume good?
Oh, you good, brother.
All right.
A1 certified.
Yeah. One thing people seem to not realize a lot is it's very easy to spend big sums of money. You know, like you're saying that he got 20 million, you know, for the fights, that his last few fights. First of all, the tax man's taking about half of that right off the top. So looking at $10 million, then you're going around here allegedly, you know, doing drugs and, you know, who knows what else, probably gambling, you know, hookers, whatever the fuck you're doing. You could blow through that amount of money a lot quicker than most people realize. Because we, you know, you and me and, you know, most of the people on here aren't playing with that kind of money. But I know people who have had that kind of money and ended up broke living in the basement. You know what I'm saying? So it could happen to anybody, no matter how much he made. But another angle I wanted to mention is, remember that this was his girlfriend who might be jilted. You know what I'm saying? That's saying this shit about him. So I can't just accept it. And that's why I say allegedly, because unless he admitted it, and I'm not aware if he did or not, but unless he admitted it, you know, a girl who's mad at you, oh man.
He made a tweet about it.
Yep. What did he say?
Go ahead, keep cooking it. Yeah, keep cooking, and I'm gonna give you the exact words from the tweet. Keep cooking, boss.
I was just gonna say, like a lover or girlfriend or whatever she was that's mad at you will go to extreme lengths to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I've experienced that. I know that because I've been divorced. So, you know, you never know. But if he admitted it, then yeah, I mean, he's fucking up.
You know,
all right, I got the quote right here. My man says, "I love to drink codeine and smoke weed all day long. I also love purchasing prostitutes as well."
No, but after Phil, I think what he said was that was his girl that put that tweet out on his Twitter. That's why I'm saying I don't necessarily believe it 100%.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. I mean, I don't know if it's completely true, but this is what I'm saying. It's obviously allegedly, right? We're going to keep it allegedly because we ain't trying to, you know, we don't want to put that on that man. But, yeah, I mean, I don't even know how your girlfriend has access to this kind of stuff to be able to even do something like that. But, I mean, it is 2023. I don't know.
What man would write that about himself? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't ring true to me, you know, honestly.
Yeah, but see, I'm gonna tell you what it is. The pictures are the most alarming. When he's sitting there, because let's talk about this, right? Let's talk about the pictures. Why in the hell would you take pictures of, first and foremost, drugs, and why would you take pictures of yourself getting clean, getting your blood clean, and saying that you're getting it clean before VADA can test you? That's ridiculous, man. What y'all think about that though?
That's a good point, Hyplo. Infield. To touch on the money thing, Hyplo, you correct, but a lot of people say that, and I'm no disrespect, but they say that is easy to blow when it comes to our community minorities with new generational or new wealth for the first time. Yeah, it's not that hard to manage your money. You just need discipline. And if he's mismanaging his money, it's also a testament to his lack of discipline with the prostitutes and the alleged claims that are coming out about him. I don't know what it is about Andy Ruiz. I think he's a good guy. I don't know too much about it. Phil is informing me of that live in HD. You know, that's how we talk. We kind of comb through the shit. I'm gonna find out more about it as it goes, but I'm really not one of those guys to dig into all that. But I do like it as it helps me assess him when he going here with Tyson Fury or within somebody else. Because why him and Deontay Wilder didn't fight? Maybe some of this is true. Not all of it, but maybe it could just be the prostitutes. Maybe it could just be him mismanaging his money. Maybe he's mismanaging his weight, which he admitted to that about AJ. He mismanaged his weight, started eating candy and all that kind of stuff. So I was curious to why the Wilder fight or why that fight never happened. And maybe this is a byproduct of that.
Yeah, potentially, man. I think that fight fell apart due to the amount of money Andy Ruiz was requesting to get into the ring with Deontay Wilder. I mean, because, the truth of the matter is, you might not come out of that thing the same if that boy hits you across your noodle. You dig what I'm saying? So I get it, man. Andy Ruiz is around here requesting a lot of money for these big fights. Obviously, Tyson Fury, the latest. Tyson Fury allegedly say Andy Ruiz asked for $20 million. And I know Andy Ruiz got dropped by PBC because he was playing such hardball with the Deontay Wilder fight and allegedly was asking for an absurd amount of money. I don't know how true that is, but that's part of the rumor mill. But the WBC is still saying that the Andy Ruiz and the Deontay Wilder fight is a possibility. Now, I don't know how true that is, but this is what the WBC is claiming that I just read earlier today. What say you on that, my man Hyplo?
Yeah, I mean, you'd figure that fight would be pretty easy to make. They're both in the same camp and all that, so there's no excuses of, this side of the street bullshit. It's kind of weird that it hasn't happened, honestly. But for the WBC to be commenting on it, honestly, I guess to them it's possible for sure. I mean, why not? They're a sanctioning body. But is it possible within the PBC? And what's really going on there? And what's obviously something's going on with Andy. I'm not saying it's what his girl put out on Twitter, but look, when you get a guy who's a professional athlete and he can't, stop eating and shit, that to me lends itself to maybe an addictive or gluttonous type of personality. No offense to anyone who's overweight, but I mean, this guy's a professional boxer. So that kind of makes me think, okay, maybe he does have a propensity to fuck around. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to see him fight Wilder. Personally, I think Wilder would fucking knock him the fuck out, but you never know. We saw it with AJ. He pulled the big upset there. So, I'm in favor of seeing all these good fights, bro. So let's get it.
Okay, so Zone, I got a question specifically for you because obviously, man, I know how you feel about this. So I'm going to ask you directly. Do you think it's a potential that Andy Ruiz could be using performance enhancement drugs? Because as I said earlier, I think the most disturbing thing about those photos was him cleaning his blood before VADA can test him. And I know how you feel about steroids. What do you think the potential is on that? And how do you feel about that scenario or that potential that he could be doing that?
Well, so for me, since I have kind of a hard stance on it, I gotta let you get caught. It potentially could he be doing it? Anybody could be potentially doing it, but to have a hard stance, you gotta have a lot of grace up until you get the concrete evidence. That's balance for me. If I was a little bit more loose I kind of believe almost anything that looks suspicious. But since I have a hard stance, I got to get them stamped in book. So I can't say that the cleaning out has anything to do with steroids necessarily. One don't necessarily have to do with the other, because he could be wanting to clean himself out from diuretics because he has weight problems. So diuretics come into this. And marijuana do come into this too as well. You know
and
what I'm saying?
codeine.
And I was just gonna say in the codeine. So it might not be steroids. It might just be literally he need to flush out because of his weight issues, and man, probably some underlying other medical issues that they're not going to disclose because of HIPAA. Like we don't know what else Andy Ruiz got going on. To be honest with you, so you don't know what they got going on there.
Hyplo, what you think about that, man? If you were, let me ask you this question differently.
Okay.
If you're a fighter now, and you were potentially slated to fight against Andy Ruiz, and all this information comes out about him, how do you feel about the clean boxing program at this point?
Well, I feel the same way regardless. None of these guys should really be getting caught because they have the money to get shit made that can't be detected anyway. So if they're getting caught, they're really fucking up. But like Zone said, like it's innocent until proven guilty, all the way for me. I believe in that 100%. So, if Andy was on performance enhancing drugs, I think we'd see a change in his body. Like, remember when Vargas was fighting and like all of a sudden he had like a 6-pack and like just looked completely different, or even Marquez in that last Pacquiao fight. I haven't seen that kind of performance out of Andy Ruiz where he does something that just seems completely illogical yet. So, yeah, I would always want, because I've never taken a fucking steroid in my life. So I would always want, if I was a fighter, I would want vada for sure. That's your best protection. It's not perfect, but it's the best one.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. If I'm a fighter, and after this information comes out about Andy Ruiz, man, definitely vada has to be involved. And let's just talk about this right here, right? So we're talking about Andy Ruiz potentially fighting somebody, but this definitely goes beyond this guy stepping inside of the ring. I think this guy needs to probably get his life together before he decides to step back in the ring, because his actions outside of the ring could be very detrimental to him in so many ways, right? But if he is still a guy that wants to get inside of the ring, vada definitely has to be involved, and they definitely have to be strict on this guy because obviously he has issues and he's never been caught before, so he's clearly doing something right in regards to not obviously the performance enhancement drugs because he's never been popped for that, but cleaning his system. He has admitted that he cleans his system for weed and codeine. So he's obviously doing something right in that regard. So that's just how I feel about it. We have Miss Lisa Bells that stepped in the door. What you got for me, sweetheart? How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Phil? And
I'm
thanks for
doing
having
well.
me in. Yeah, that's great to
Absolutely.
hear. And hey, happens. I was I'm glad you brought this up because I didn't realize that when I saw that video, I just thought it was he was taking a test for for vada or whatever. But I saw in a chat Ryan Clark said that he turned down some offers, but I also saw that I had read that he's still with Al Heyman, so maybe Al is his what do you call it?
Advisor. I think you absolutely.
Yeah.
I think you're right, Lisa. I think he did get dropped by PBC, but Al Heyman is still his advisor. You're absolutely correct about that. I believe so.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't even know he had got until Ryan had said that I thought that I just knew that Tom Brown, he had parted ways with Tom Brown Promotions because I did see that on Twitter.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. So that's giving me more insight. I didn't know that, he was done with PBC. I didn't know that.
Well,
So what do you, Lisa? Let me ask you a quick question while I got you on here. What do you think
Uh-huh.
about these antics that Andy Ruiz is doing outside of the ring, and how do you think this will affect him in his career going forward? Do you think he needs to focus on himself, or do you think he needs to have something to do? And when I say something to do, I'm talking about getting training camp, prepare himself, and box, because we all know whenever you got that downtime, you don't do nothing but bullshit. And obviously, Andy Ruiz is smoking dope, having sex with prostitutes, and sipping lean. So, I mean, maybe he might need something to do. I don't know. Or do you think he just needs to focus on his personal life?
Well, he got to focus on his personal life, his demons or whatever, alleged demons or whatever. But also, him getting in the ring, that helps too, because I'm sure that helps with your mindset or whatever, clearing your mind out. But I noticed the change in him once he became the champ. I noticed the change with the frivolous money spending and just it was a lot of things. So I did notice a big change in him.
What do they say? Money just make you more of what you really are, right? I
Yeah.
think that may be the case of in the case of Andy Ruiz at this point in time. I don't know, man. I just hope the guy can seek whatever help that it is that he needs. And obviously, if this was his girlfriend who potentially put this information out, that's a whole nother scenario that we have to worry about. You understand what I'm saying? Because that seems like that's a toxic relationship within itself, right?
Yeah. That was
who would
actually his
treat?
ex-wife.
Oh, see, so it's his ex-wife. Andy Ruiz
Yeah.
got all kind of shit going on outside of the ring, man. I would hate for him to get inside of the ring with somebody like Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury, and he gonna get his brains bashed. He gonna get stopped, man. I mean, these guys are gonna stop him. You need to be 100% focused and have a good head on your shoulders when you get into the ring with these guys, because they don't mess around, man. They don't mess around. Obviously Andy Ruiz can turn this situation around, as Tyson Fury has turned his situation around, right? So I do have faith in the kid, right? But I mean, look, at the end of the day, this is bad, man. This is a bad scenario, especially when you in negotiations with Tyson Fury and you asking for 20 mil. That's just insane. That's crazy. That's insane, man. So look, check this out, man. The next topic, man, we're going to talk about my man, Ryan Garcia. Obviously, we know that he fired the Goose. Mr. Joe Goosen was his trainer for Javante Tank Davis. Let me tell you this, let me just give my thoughts about Joe Goosen. I think Joe Goosen is a good trainer. You understand what I'm saying? I think he's obviously he's a veteran trainer. I think he knows his boxing. And I think that he may have not gotten a fair shake with Ryan Garcia, considering all of the rumors that have come out that Ryan Garcia doesn't really like to go to the gym and train very often. He likes to train at his house and all this other kind of shit. But they said that he fired the Goose, and now he went out seeking for a new trainer, and he landed on Mr. Derrick James down here in the Big Texas. Zone 6, what you think about that decision, and do you think Derrick James is a good trainer for my man Ryan Garcia?
I think Derrick can be as good as they kind of lock it in on, but I feel like it's gonna really be a repeat of American and Freddie Roach. I told y'all I feel like Garcia is the new American. Very, very attractive for a skill set, fast hands, lanky, can reach around and hit you. That is just so sexy to people when you start designing a boxer that Sugar Ray Robin-ish, Thomas Hearns, Mayweather type of lanky built. You know, it just feels like that style built boxer can execute a lot of things that we envision, especially when you got that speed that Ryan Garcia got, and a signature punch and a signature look. So I don't think that's going to help him. I think boxing has advanced too much with so many different styles and so many plays and nuances that it's going to take more than what Ryan Garcia has to bring. And I don't think Derrick James is going to do anything of significance outside of make him a consistent, maybe titleist, maybe make him a contender. He's already kind of in that vein, but I don't think it's going to be anything blockbuster outside of a comparison to Amir Khan with Freddie Roach. It's going to have a hot run for 4 or 5 fights, and then something's going to be different after that, in my opinion.
Okay. So, Hyplo, what you think about Ryan Garcia selecting Derrick James to be his new trainer, boss?
Well, look, any trainer that you respect and you're going to follow what they say is a good trainer. But I think Ryan's problem is he thinks he's bigger than boxing. You know, this guy's never fought for a title, going around saying belts don't matter. Well, you know, we saw the shit performance that he turned in against Tank with Joe Goosen, who I think is actually a really good trainer for him, because Joe Goosen is a hard ass. I always tell the story. I got kicked out of his gym for sneezing once. He doesn't fuck around, that guy. But maybe because it was big money and he doesn't really have many fighters now, he took a lot of time off, Joe Goosen, to train like celebrities for movies and shit like that. That's what he was doing, and that's why he doesn't really have a premier boxer in the game. So they brought him back out of the mothballs for Ryan, and I was thinking, hey, that's the perfect guy for Ryan. He needs someone who's going to take that fucking phone, throw it in a bucket of spit, and be like, listen, you want the phone back? Fucking give me 20 rounds right now, fucking shadow boxing. Let me see you fucking run 10 miles. Then you can fucking tweet something. You know what I'm saying? That's what I thought. But in reality, from what I heard out of the camp after the fight, Ryan wasn't showing up. He wasn't over there. He was driving 2 hours to get to the gym when he would show up. He just didn't like, he should have just rented an apartment right next to 10 Goose and fucking, live there until the fight and then go back to your fucking mansion. You know what I'm saying? So Derrick James is a great trainer. I mean, he's got a lot of good pupils, but see, that was the problem with Ryan at Reynoso. Like, Reynoso's not going to take his attention off of Canelo for you, Ryan Garcia. I mean, and the same thing with Derrick James. He's got these big fucking name guys. He's not going to be able to give Ryan his full attention. And also the style that he promotes really isn't a good style for Ryan with his chin that he has, because most Derrick James fighters come forward and work the body. And I don't see that being a good style for Ryan. So, look, if he follows what Derrick says and takes his shit seriously, but isn't Derrick James all the way in fucking Texas? Like, come on, how is that going to work? Ryan lives out here, man. So I don't know. It just seems like a mistake to me.
So I heard you mention something in that right there, and I want you to answer this question for me. Then we're gonna roll to Miss Lisa Bells. So do you think that Ryan may be just a diva? Do you think he needs that additional attention in the gym in order to make him feel comfortable? Because as you just mentioned, Eddie Reynoso, and then now you go to Derrick James, who has, great fucking fighters.
Joshua, Spence.
Yeah,
much
because
bigger
exactly
names.
He just picked up Joshua. So do you think that Ryan Garcia may be the kind of guy that is like, I'm not getting the attention that I need? And do you think he's a diva when it comes to him going to the gym?
In a word, yes.
Okay. That's kind of the.
That's what I hear around LA from people who hang out with them, and I've never hung out with him, but I've heard he parties a lot. He's just more into the influencer lifestyle. than he is like living a boxing, like a Hagler type lifestyle. See, if you took Ryan Garcia and you made him train like Hagler and put that kind of desire in him, he could be something. But if he keeps on like this, dude, he's just going to be, like a quasi Jake Paul.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I could definitely understand that. If these rumors are true, I could definitely feel you on that right there. Miss Lisa Bells, what you think about Ryan Garcia and Derek James to be his trainer? Do you think it's a good thing, a bad thing? Do you think it's something that they need to build a relationship on? What's your thoughts?
I was actually shocked, but then again, who knows? You know, if the things that Haplo is saying is true, yeah, that is kind of a red flag. But I don't know. Maybe the loss has humbled him. I know Derek is going to have him out there chopping wood, so that's probably different. From I'm not saying that he's never done it, but I doubt it. So it's like it's about building a relationship, like with your trainer as well. Like he's not going to be, Derek James has some big names over there in his camp, and you can't just focus on just one person. We know that his star athlete over there is Errol. He's been with him. Errol and Derek James is like what Reynoso is in Canelo.
I agree.
They've been together, they've been together the longest. So, so that's always going to be his his main guy. But I'm not saying that they can't build a relationship, and but I just think it's about humbling himself and removing himself from the LA scene, and he's going to have to go to Texas like Joshua had to do. This time Joshua didn't try to bring nobody over to the UK. He had to humble himself and go there to Texas, you know what I mean? And put in that work and chop them that wood. And I've seen the pictures, and it's just things that you just have to do. So I'm not saying that it can't work, but I'm gonna say this before I pass it to the next person. What Hap was saying was really interesting, because with Joe Goosen, Joe Goosen has the time, and he could have really poured into Ryan, where that was would have been
agree,
his
Lisa.
star, athlete,
Yeah.
and So it's about maybe this is a growing up, who knows? I mean, anybody can change, anybody can change. That's how I feel. So we'll see going forward what's going to happen with Ryan Garcia, and that's it.
Okay, so look, check this out. That's perfect timing, because now we have my man Get the Smoke just stepped in the building. It's a pleasure to have you, boss. Check this
All
out,
right.
man. Right now, we are
The
discussing.
champ is here.
Right now, we are discussing whether the move that
The other
Ryan
champ.
Garcia
I know it's two
made.
champs.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, we're gonna clean up the confusion this weekend. Guys, tune in. It should be a great one.
Hey, look, man, we're gonna chop that up, man. If y'all ain't heard, my man Zone 6 got a debate with with Get the Smoke coming up this weekend. So hey, y'all need to make sure y'all tune into that right there, man. We're going to get the ins and the outs on that. If you hadn't heard already, on either Get the Smoke channel or my man Zone 6 channel, they're going to give y'all the 100% rundown. We definitely promoting it over here on the Fix Sports TV show all the time. You dig what I'm saying? So we're going to run that to y'all in a second, man. But look, Smoke, quick question for you, man. We're talking about Ryan Garcia selecting Derek James as his trainer. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's a good move, a bad move? And do you think he's probably going to be potentially picking another trainer after this?
I think Derek James is an excellent trainer, but I don't know that his style, from what I've seen, and the attributes from what I've seen from Derrick James fighters, is like really a good fit. Doesn't really seem it doesn't seem like the first choice you'd make, right? Like a guy who's just going to stand through fire, walk through hell to do. I mean, maybe that's Ryan Garcia, and we're just and we're misjudging the guy, but he seems to be a little bit. I think he likes to be cautious, a little bit of a bully, sure, but the rough and tumble, like he doesn't strike me as the Brandon Figueroa type, willing to just be rough. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. The problem with Ryan, I don't think, is the expertise of his trainers. It's just been like kind of a culture fit and how he views the sport. And his own dedication to the sport. And, you know, if he's not, if he's real dedicated or not, I think Derrick James will bring it out. So, yeah, but as a style fit, it's not the first thing I think of when I think of Ryan Garcia's style of fighting is, Derrick James. Like, let me break him down to the body, you know, walk through hell, be a bruiser in there, and just beat somebody's ass. It doesn't really strike me as Ryan Garcia's style.
Yeah, you know, I tell you what, man. This is what I will say, because I hadn't gave my thoughts on that. But obviously, it's a lot of guys selecting Derrick James to be their trainers. You understand what I'm saying? To be their trainer, excuse me. And this is going to be a challenge for Derrick James in Ryan Garcia, because obviously Spence has his vices outside of the ring, but whenever he's in training camp, I've seen this guy. He's a fucking monster. Excuse my language. But he definitely, when he's in training camp, he's 110% full speed, and there's not no bullshit involved in it. You understand what I'm saying? And the same thing for Mel Charlo as well, right? You know, you're talking about a unified and you're talking about an undisputed champion right there. And Derrick James is their trainer. So with that being said, those two guys are absolutely 110% dedicated, especially during training camp. Now, I don't know if Ryan Garcia is that guy that can be disciplined for 8, 10, or potentially 12 weeks. You understand what I'm saying? His fighting style is unique to himself, obviously. I think that Derrick James is going to have to tighten up on some fundamental things when it comes to Ryan Garcia. But more importantly, man, Ryan Garcia himself is going to have to want it. And I would hope that Derrick James had that conversation with the young man. Says, hey, look, man, you know, I'm not the one to read into all the rumors about what you did with this trainer and this other trainer, but this is how my ship is ran over here. You understand what I'm saying? And I think if Derrick James is a good trainer, he probably did have that talk with him. You understand? So it's going to be a challenge for him, because I think Ryan is going to obviously have to adapt to the culture of Derrick James and being in his gym and training with all these elite athletes. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're talking about unified, undisputed, and you just brought in Anthony Joshua, who's also who is a ex-unified champion at heavyweight, right? So Derrick James has a lot of talent over there, and I just hope that Ryan Garcia can understand that, look, man, you need to take that ego and keep that shit at the door. Matter of fact, don't even keep it at the door. Keep that shit in California. You did? Because now you in Texas, and we do shit different out here in Texas. You understand what I'm saying? So I think he made the right decision based on whatever he think is good for him in this moment, but only time will tell if Derrick James is the guy to match up with Ryan Garcia. We don't know. So
yeah, I think it may help him out with learning how to cut off the ring. I mean, his hands and his feet just don't match right now for Ryan Garcia. But yeah, I don't know. Overall, Derrick James, we'll see. Like I said, like you said, we'll see. But Ryan Garcia needs to have to want it. He needs to be a whole different person than what he sees, what he's shown us so far. It'd be interesting if he can learn how to cut off the ring, how to break a guy down, go to the body, and then kill the head. If he developed all that, a more educated lead hand, he might be a problem. I mean, right now people have him as a quitter. I don't think Frank Martin is a quitter. Like, even if you think Errol Spence gets distracted in fights, I haven't seen him quit in any fight.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I think he's going to have to just get, adjusted to the culture down there in Derrick James's gym, because those guys do absolutely work hard, and all those guys have issues outside of the ring, even Mel, obviously Earl Spence Jr. I mean, but when it's time to get down, those guys, they don't take no bullshit when it comes to their training camps. Now, look, man, check this out. We're going to move on to let me, but Smoke, you just got in here. Would you like to give us your quick opinions about Andy Ruiz and his alleged weed smoking, codeine sipping, and prostitute purchasing? Would you like to give your 2 cents about that, as well as asking Tyson Fury, in the midst of all of this information coming out, asking him for $20 million? And then we're going to move on to the next topic, and we're going to start off with my man Zone 6.
Yeah, no, I'm going to pass on that one. Just go on.
All right. That's good. We're going to pass on. We're going to pass on from that one right there. My man Smoke said, I don't want to touch it. I don't want nothing to do with it. You dig what I'm saying? But look, check this out, man. Obviously, last night we had a classic between Vasily Lomachenko and Devin Haney, or Devin Haney and Vasily Lomachenko, however you want to say it. But this is what I will say right here. I think that was a man, how can I put this? It was a barn burner, man. It was a barn burner. It had me on the edge of my seat, and it was extremely interesting to find out how the judges scored it. Zone 6, man, I know you cooked on it earlier on your channel, but now you on the fix. You understand what I'm saying? Give me your thoughts on the Devin Haney and the Vasily Lomachenko. Who you thought won? Give us the whole rundown, boss.
So I had Lomachenko winning the fight. Devin Haney winning the fight 7-5. I can see 7-5 for Devin Haney. I can see 8-4 for Devin Haney. I can see the draw, and I can see the same exact thing on the other end for Loma. 8-4 for Loma, 7-5 for Lomachenko. Those are the 5 different outcomes that I could have seen. I think it was a good fight. I think it was a strategic battle. I think that when you break down the nuances of the fights outside of what I had already said on my channel, but to give something different, is I think the body punching was very, very underrated and overlooked. Looking at the actual pay-per-view itself and listen to the telecast, because I actually purchased it, they got an issue with sensationalizing certain fighters, and I understand it, and I respect the good cop, bad cop. We got to kind of pick a side thing to make it exciting. And Timothy Bradley and them do a good job at it, but they got to kind of like tailor it a little bit better and get a little bit more polished at their journalism work. I know you rock with Top Rank. I know you might be familiar with Lomachenko, and this is Timothy Bradley. But some of them punches that Lomachenko was throwing wasn't landing. I mean, it was good, busy work, but a lot of that was overshooting over the pocket of the head of Devin Haney. Devin Haney had some good in-pocket movement, in-pocket evasive abilities that translate into defense. And I just don't see where Lomachenko took the crown off of the king of 135. And I think the king of 135 did an excellent job at defending his throne. So I just didn't see enough evidence in the performance of Lomachenko to usurp your boy Devin Haney as the undisputed 135-pound king. I will say this because we may get to it. But what I did see in there is that Lomachenko looks excellent. Lomachenko still looks good. He's a player within 135. He's not this old man that's headed to retirement in the wheelchair. He's solid, he's good, and he's capable of beating anybody. But I don't see anything from both of them to suggest that they could beat Tank. But we got to see the fight.
Okay, so that we gonna get to that particular question right there. Hyplo, I know you watch the fight, boss. Give me your thoughts on it, man.
Yeah, so like I said on Zone's channel earlier, I had it scored it twice, initially live, and then after the fact. I scored it a draw both times. But if I was going to give it to one guy or the other, I would give it to Haney, because I felt like the 12th round was a swing round. Like personally, I gave it to Loma, but I was iffy as fuck about that. Excuse my language. So if anybody won, to me it was Haney. I thought that Zab Judah made a good point after the fight, saying that Loma fought in spurts, and had he sustained that attack a little bit more, I probably would have given him a few more rounds. I did notice that the people who were in the arena tended to lean Loma, and then that happens when you have a guy in there throwing big flurries. But watching it on TV, the people I know who scored it, they've seen that not those punches weren't really landing, man. Like out of 4 or 5, sometimes he got one in there, sometimes he got none. And as Zone said, and I said earlier, the body work from Haney was clearly visible. Those punches, they were landing. Did they have a huge effect on Loma? It didn't seem like it. But I wouldn't want to get hit in the body by anybody because it hurts. So you can't just negate someone's body work. Like, that's a mistake a lot of people make when scoring fights, especially newer fans and stuff. Like, they don't understand body shots hurt more, at least in my experience. So I thought Haney did a good job. He stayed disciplined. He stayed on his game plan. His dad did a pretty good job in the corner, helping him make little adjustments here and there. And I just, I was proud of him. I thought he did a great job. And, Loma's no easy task, man, for anybody. Even now, I feel like Loma's faded a little bit, slightly, but he's still, a force to be reckoned with in there. The guy can box, man, no doubt. And he's got interesting footwork. He's got a unique style, and it's not the easiest thing to beat a guy like that. So salute to Devin Haney for getting the W. But yeah, I scored it a draw.
Okay. Miss Lisa Bells, what you got for us? I know you watched the fight.
Yeah, I only saw like up to 9th round, unfortunately, but what I had was Devin was ahead. See, the rounds that the people were talking about, I didn't see. It was like, okay, round 7 and 8 was like a question mark to me. So I said I need to look at them again, because I wanted to really like fully like break it down, But what I saw was those body shots. There was a lot of body shots from Devin, and I'm not saying that they would go. Yeah, they were going kind of like with the like. When I watched it, I had the commentary on, and like there wasn't a lot of ooh and ahs. Yeah, they was talking about it, and they said, yeah, he's hitting him. His side of his the side of his stomach is really getting red or whatever from the body shots or whatever. But I think they both put on a great performance. Such an uproar about everything, but in the moment, sometimes in real time, like because I was on a panel and everything, so then I had to go back and look at the time I wasn't really watching the fight, but then I had to go back and look myself, because sometimes like was it who said it? Was it Zone or Smoke talking about the sensationalizing?
That was my man Zone.
Yeah, Zone, because like with the commentary, they get like, and then you got to be careful with that. So it's good to always watch it with the volume turned down or whatever. But I think Haney was doing a good job. There was, there was times like with Loma. I'm gonna say this before I shut up. There was like a lot of shoe shine stuff with Loma. Like there was things where he was kind of like how they say like you could kind of steal around because at the end, that flashy stuff that stuff like that. Or but then Loma was pushing Devin's head back in some moments. So but I think Dev did a good job. I think Loma did a good job. So I could see it if like some people say 7-5.
Okay. Okay. Get the smoke, man. What's your opinions about the fight, boss?
Yeah, man, I had it kind of how the judges had it. Really, I had a 7-5, 8-4. And then I just looked at the scorecards on BoxRec, and they had like the swing rounds are in there. I had the same rounds being swing. Some of them they had going to Loma. Uh, 3 of them I think they had going to Dev right there in the middle. Going into the 5th round, it was dead even, two rounds apiece. I had it 3-1, but I saw how it could have been 2-2. Yeah, so I at the end of the day, I thought the judges did a great job. I thought, Loma fought in spurts. I didn't think he was a 12-round fighter. That was the reason why I wasn't picking Loma to win going into this whole thing, was because he's not a fight every minute of every round guy. And Devin's going to have, I thought Devin's work was going to be too clean for Loma to try to steal it in those spurts that he likes to fight in. And I don't think he can go full, top gear long enough to win enough rounds. And the 10th and the 11th, I thought were excellent rounds for Loma. If he could have been at that level for like 5 rounds, we would have a different fight on our hands, or like a different outcome. But he doesn't have it in him like that. So it is what it is for me. I thought the right guy won. I thought he'd get maybe a split decision. But the way Dev looked in the official weigh-in, those photos we got from the official weigh-in, I think what I saw in that fight, Devin fading, looking for answers, looking concerned at the end of the fight, and being kind of just listless in general, I feel like he's better at 140. I think his time at 135 has come to an end. That young man needs to move the hell up, move on, and do some other things. I think the weight cut is showing up in his performance. That's just my assessment of it on the outside.
Smoke, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Who did you give the 12th round to?
Dev.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes sense. 7-5. You gave him the 12th, then he won for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
Nah, you can finish up with what you're saying, Smoke. I'm gonna go last.
Yeah. The way he looked at I thought he had to dig real deep in order to pull that out in the 12th, actually. And I think, I think that's a product of the weight cut, and also how good Loma is and how he turns it up. But it seemed like his output fell off of a cliff, and he couldn't even think in there for a second. I think he needs to move on. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. So for me personally, I scored the fight a draw. Okay. But this is the deal right here. It was a lot of swing rounds in that fight, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I could have seen the fight going any kind of way. I could have seen the draw. I could have seen Loma with the win. I could have seen Devin with the win. That's just the truth of the matter. Now, all this foolery going around about it was a robbery is exactly that. It's foolery. You understand what I'm saying? I think both guys put on a hell of a performance. I think both guys gave it their all. And, at the end of the day, you got to trust the fucking process, man. And in due process, Devin Haney was victorious. You understand what I'm saying? And that's all that matters at the end of the day. If you a professional boxer, you want to get the nod and then you move on from the fight. Now, I will say this right here. On the back end of the fight, I think that Devin Haney did fade on the back end of the fight. And honestly, it came to a point in time where I was looking for Bill Haney to give Devin some type of advice to negate some of the things that Loma was doing, right? I can remember, I don't remember what round it was, but Bill was saying, "Hey, look, he's throwing the shot, he's throwing it one at a time." And Devin said, "No, he's not throwing it one at a time. He's throwing it two at a time. I don't know what to do." You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know if that's a product of Bill not being very observant, or it's a product of Bill just not being able to get Haney to that next level of elite fighting, right? Obviously they got the nod, but it's truly an uphill battle for Devin Haney. Let's be honest about it. You know, I think Loma was absolutely 100% a major stepping stone. A major stepping stone. You cannot take anything away from his win against Lomachenko because it was incredible. Obviously, with all the things that Lomachenko has accomplished in his career, he's a potential all-time great, and I think he is a future Hall of Famer. You understand? So with that being said, it's still an uphill battle for Haney. I don't know how this guy looks at 140 pounds. I mean, Lomachenko literally was walking through his shots. I mean, it's just the truth of the matter. Now, whether you want to say that, you know, Haney does have power, he doesn't have power, this is what I can say right here. Lomachenko was getting his body ripped to shreds. Let's be honest about it. Devin Haney's body work was fucking excellent. Excuse my language. It was incredible. I said, you know, that to me, that was the biggest takeaway from Devin Haney's offensive attack was that body. He went to that body, and he went to that body consistently, all 12 rounds. But the problem was, I don't think it affected Lomachenko. Lomachenko absorbed those body blows in order to close the distance on Devin Haney and get his shots off. Now, this is what I will say right here, and we're going to finish the conversation off with this right here. Any other fighter that has potential power, I think could probably get Devin Haney out of there. And that's just on my own personal opinion, which is going to bring me to the next segment, and we're going to close with this because we're just running a little bit past an hour. Do you think Devin Haney could fight the same way he fought against Lomachenko against a guy like Gervonta Tank Davis? Because that is a potential matchup that is in the pipeline up next. You know, they said it, Tank Davis, maybe Shakur, right? But I don't want to talk about Shakur because that's going to be kind of almost the same thing as Loma versus Haney. I'm talking about a motherfucker that can throw that left hand down the pipe like Lomachenko was doing, but is going to splatter your fucking brains all over the ring. My man Zone 6, I know Gervonta Tank Davis is your guy. What you got on that, boss?
I got exactly just what you described. I got Tank whooping his ass. Both of them, like I told y'all from the beginning. This was a good match between them two, but it's no reflection on what success that they're gonna have against Tank. Tank is very, very methodical in his approach. Tank is Hyper. You traveling somewhere? You zipping up?
Oh shit! I'm sorry. I was just putting on a jacket. I didn't realize I was unmuted.
Okay, no problem. All right, so
I thought you was zipping up one of them body bags from a past debate.
Those are all zipped up. They're all in storage.
Yeah, because I'm smoking one of them, so I just wanted to make sure I was ready.
I don't know how I came off mute. I must have hit the button. Sorry, my apologies.
That's what smoke gonna get. When I started talking, they knew what it was. But anyway, so I think Tank is too strong, durable, precise, and cagey, to say the least, for what I seen from these two guys, Lomo and Haney. Because you're only as good as your last fight. No doubt that these guys had great performance, and I already described it. I like both of them and what they did. High level boxing, high level pocket fighting, movement, all the good things that you want to see in a boxer. but Tank is going to pretty much nullify that, especially on the inside. I just don't see anything that neither one of these guys have for Tank on the inside. Their power is honest, but it's just not enough in comparison to the nuclear bombs that Tank throws. And even when Tank is down, his power is good through the first quarter of the fight, second, mid, back in, all the way down to the end. You're never safe. And not only can he put you on your pockets, you don't know if one of those shots is going to put you out for the fight. So it's not just power that puts you on your pocket. It's power that can knock you out and change the whole trajectory of the fight and the momentum of the fight. And once Tank starts putting you on the canvas, then he kind of snowballs you after that. He's really a good rush down fighter once he start to get that momentum built up and accumulate those rounds. He knock you down in the second. He damn near, if he don't kill you, he gonna win the next 2 rounds. You know what I'm saying? And it takes you another 3 rounds just to recover, to pull some of that momentum out. You got to outbox Tank. That's too much of a long process. And I don't think neither one of those guys have the ability to nullify Tank and neutralize his power and his counterpunching ability. Or neither one of them can fight Tank on the inside, in my opinion, to have any success.
All right, man, that's a good take. I know Tank, your guy. You've been riding with Tank since day one. So I know when you say that shit, you really mean it, because you've been saying it. You've been saying it for the longest. My man, Get the Smoke. I'm gonna go to you next, boss. What you got on that, man? Do you think Devin Haney could potentially fight Tank Davis the same way that he fought Lomachenko, with all those, left hands landing consistently on his face?
No, but I also think that was a product of, like I said, being weight drained at 35. So I don't know if that's going to be the same deal at 40, should they fight there. But I just want to say, after I deliver this L to Zone 6, I hope he takes it better than Lomachenko does. I hope he doesn't go out there and talk about how I'm not pound for pound, and breaks down in tears, put the Bud Light towel on his head.
All right, man. Hey, look, if y'all don't know, let me tell y'all something. Zone 6 and my man Get the Smoke has a debate coming up on the 27th, correct? All right, look, it's on your community page, Zone?
Yeah, I put it up. It's on the 27th. 3.
Okay, so it's on the community page though, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so look, check this out, man. If you don't know, I'm finna tell you right quick. Just get some reference to what my man Get the Smoke was talking about. Go to my man Zone 6 page. Okay, that's his name right there. You see it on the screen. Zone 6. Go to his community page, and he has all the information about the debate between him and Get the Smoke. Okay, it'll be all on there. We got Jack Johnson and
Marciano.
Marciano, correct?
It don't matter who he had. L. We got an L.
Okay, yeah. So look, they debating Rocky Marciano and Jack Johnson. So that's gonna be one hell of a debate, man. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, go to my man Zone 6 page, go to his community page. You have all the information there. And if you ain't subscribed, hit the fucking subscribe button. Subscribe to my man Zone 6. Subscribe to my man Hype Low. You see the name, and subscribe to my man Get the Smoke. You dig what I'm saying? Lisa Bells, let me ask you a question. Do you think Devin Haney could beat Tank Davis with the performance that he put on against Vasily Lomachenko?
I think that he would have to have a different game plan. We do know that, with Tank, of course, they're two different fighters. Tank, of course, we know he has the equalizer, that get out of jail free card, that power. It depends on if he can take the shot, I've seen Devin rocked a few times, but I've never seen him down on the canvas, But just because people say Tank will always do this and that don't mean everybody that he hit don't necessarily have to go down, you know what I mean? So I get that people say this or that or this or that, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting that there's some. I mean, yeah, Tank has a high ring IQ as well. Yeah, that's going to be tough. I may. Hmm. Uh, it would be like a 50-50, a 60-40. I would be rooting for Devin, but Tank that power can always, you know what I mean? Hmm. But he definitely, like last night, like far as them lefts, you got to be careful of those lefts, you know. Like his Tank is coming, he's a southpaw coming, you know. Yeah, but it's got to be a different game plan. You know, you can't go in there. You're gonna have to know when to box Tank and when to fight him, you know, and just be wary of that power hand, you know. That's just my take on it. But like I know what you said, like as far as Tank, like in Loma or whatever, but Tank never fought Loma. He could have fought him years ago. He didn't. So that ship has sailed. So that's just my take.
Cool. Hyplo, did you give your opinions about that? Or
No, I was just listening.
okay, yeah, man. Hey, give us your thoughts, man, about that, brother.
Yeah, I'm assuming that if those two guys are fighting, it's going to be at 135. I understand, Devin has said he might move up to 140 after the Loma fight, but we haven't seen him at 140, so I can't really assess what he's going to look like there until I see it. So I'm just going to go off with him being at 135 and Tank being at 135, since Tank has also said, that's where he wants to fight. So assuming that fight happens at 135, and your question was, if he fights like he did against Loma, will he win? The answer is no. But I don't think he would fight the way he would fought against Loma. It's just a completely different style matchup. I think Devin has a good chance of beating Tank, as well as vice versa. You got the long, tall, boxer type guy versus the compact, stocky, power punching fucking maniac that Tank is. I like both of them, and I think that's a fucking classic style matchup. Excuse my language. Like, I think that's a classic. Like, people are talking about this Loma fight being a classic. Not so much. It was a good fight. It was much better than Tank versus Ryan. But a classic, no. It didn't have the drama of a classic. In a Haney versus Tank fight, you're gonna have, we know what Tank can do to people, and we also know that Devin is a great fucking boxer. So, if I'm planning his game plan, Devin, meaning I'm not gonna fight Tank anywhere near the same way I fought Loma, because Loma doesn't have that kind of fucking stoppage power. Loma is more dangerous in his flurries and his lateral movement and stuff like that, where Tank is just sitting there waiting to sharpshoot you and waiting for you to make a mistake. So basically, the way I would fight Tank if I'm Haney is just speed. I'm focusing on speed. You're not going to knock out Tank. You don't want to get knocked out. Speed, flurries, moving, keep him on the outside of your fucking punches, and lateral movement, good footwork. Haney has shown he can do all this. So to me, that's a very intriguing matchup, like a classic, Dempsey versus Tunney type matchup. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope it happens. And, we're going to win as the fans if it does.
Absolutely, man. That is a classic, the boxer versus the puncher. So look, man, check this out, man. I appreciate everybody coming in to the show tonight. Salute to the panel, salute to the chat, man. We have covered Andy Ruiz and his antics outside of the ring, drugs, codeine, weed, prostitutes, asking Tyson Fury for $20 million to step into the ring with him. We covered Ryan Garcia selecting my man Derek James as his trainer. And we just got through covering the Vasily Lomachenko and the Haney fight, the outcome, our thoughts on it. And we also covered Tank Davis and a potential clash with Devin Haney and what may or may not be the outcome between those two guys. As well, we have talked about my man Zone 6 and Get the Smoke. They have a debate lined up for the 27th of this month. Go to my man Zone 6 community page, and he has all the details listed. Don't miss it. It's going to be a fucking classic. Excuse my language. You understand what I'm saying? So let me give a shout out to everybody that's been in the chat.
Let me ask you a quick question before you wrap it up there, Phil. Is it too late to join your brackets?
You can join the bracket all the way up to before the first debate.
All right, cool.
Yeah, because right now we only got two people that joined up.
He has to pick himself though as the winner, right? Because he's in it.
Yeah, you got to pick yourself as the winner.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was going to do.
That's right.
And obviously, whoever you could pick whoever's on the other side of the bracket that you think you may potentially go against. But yeah, you got to pick yourself as the winner. The instructions are listed on my community page. Obviously, you've seen the actual bracket from KO's page, so you just fill it out, man. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you got any questions, you got my number. You can call me. Right now, we only got two brackets. We got my man Zone 6. And we got Ms. Winfrey. So, I mean, whoever got the best bracket between them two win the money, right? I mean, unless somebody else fills out a bracket.
I'm going to come in and fill out a bracket.
Oh, man, come in and fill out a bracket. Hey, look, let me tell you, you got all the way up until the first debate tomorrow. So, it's all good, man. And Hype Flow, you got my number too, brother. You can call me and ask me any questions. And Lisa, if you got any questions, you can reach me on my email.
And I don't know how to do that stuff. I tried to do it. It was confused as hell.
Hey,
you know what? Because I don't have my computer up. That's what it is.
Oh yeah, you probably need to do it from the computer for sure.
Fix, can I give Lisa your number so she can call you?
No, my computer is down. Is what I'm saying. I got to get it back up.
Okay.
And running.
Okay. Now, Lisa,
I was trying to do it on my phone. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard on the phone. Now, Lisa, what I may be able to do, Hype Plug's gonna give you the number. Just shoot me a text message, and I'll call you tomorrow. And I may be able to do the bracket for you. But you're gonna have to email it to me because I don't want people to think that is any funny business. Okay. So I'm gonna send it to you, and then you send it back to me. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna be running around tomorrow, but I'll definitely try to give you a quick shout out. Yeah.
Okay, that's sure.
All
right. We're gonna shoot you the number. All right, man. Shout out to everybody that was in the Traveler, J. Cole, Big Blunts Boxing. My man Hype Low was on the show. Lisa Bells was on the show. What else we got? My man Ryan Clark was in the chat dropping that information from PBC. Who else we got? Yeah, that's pretty much about it right there.
Yeah, great show. Thanks for having me.
Oh man, I appreciate you, Lisa. You know we go way back.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Young Man's Game. He was in here. Miss Bitch, I appreciate you coming through. You super active. I appreciate you stopping by. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you hadn't. And make sure everybody, y'all hit that bell icon and that thumbs up on that thing, man. Outside of that, man, it's a wrap, man. It's your boy Phil Walker. That's my man Zone 6. That's Lisa Bell. That's Hype Low. If you haven't, you need to make sure you go subscribe to them boys, man. This is the Fix Sports TV, man. And I'm your host. I'm Phil Walker. I am the ambassador, man. So y'all boys holler at me. And I'm going to keep y'all updated with the latest boxing news. And we just going to get busy, man. Holler at me.
Thanks, Phil.
All right.